Namaskar, good morning, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students, scholars, learners, listeners, colleagues, friends, sons, daughters, professionals and officials, the most venerable, honorable, respected father, डॉक्टर्स, मिनिस्टर्स, सम्माननीय, पूजनीय, वंदनीय, अति सम्माननीय एंड माननीय, all are heartily, cordially welcomed by Dr. Rakesh from USA. I thank God for your presence, for your valuable asset of time. Today we will learn our attitude contributes to success. Attitude of gratitude. A study attributed to Harvard University found that when a person gets a job, 85% of the time it is because of their attitude, and only 15% of the time because of how smart they are and how many facts and figures they know. Surprisingly, almost 100% of education dollars go to teach facts and figures, which account for only 15% of success in work. This book is all about that 85% of success. Attitude is the most important word in the English language. It applies to every sphere of life, including one's personal and professional life. Can an executive be a good executive without a good attitude? Can a student be a good student without a good attitude? Can a parent, teacher, salesman, employer, employee be good in their roles without a good attitude? The foundation of success, regardless of your chooses field, is attitude. If attitude is such a critical factor in success, shouldn't you examine your attitude towards life and ask how your attitude will affect your goals? Through the story we will learn acres of diamonds. There was a farmer in Africa who was happy and content. He was happy because he was content. He was content because he was happy. One day a wise man came to him and told him about the glory of diamonds and the power that goes along with them. The wise man said, if you had a diamond the size of your thumb, you could have your own city. If you had a diamond the size of your fist, you could probably own your own country. Then, when he went away that night, the farmer couldn't sleep. He was unhappy and he was discontented. He was unhappy because he was discontented and discontent because he was unhappy. The next morning he made arrangements to sell off his farm, took care of his family and went in search of diamonds. He looked all over Africa and couldn't find any way. He looked all through Europe and couldn't find any. When he got to Spain, he was emotionally, physically and financially broke. He got so disheartened that he threw himself into the Barcelona river and committed suicide. Back home, the person who had bought his farm was watering the camels at a stream that ran through the farm. Across the stream, the rays of the morning sun hit a stone and made a sparkle like a rainbow. He thought it would look good on the mantelpiece. He picked up the stone and put it on the living room. That afternoon, the wise man came and saw the stone sparkling. He asked, "Is Hafiz back?" The new owner said, "No. Why do you ask?" The wise man said, "Because that is a diamond. I recognize one when I see one." The man said, "No, that's just a stone I picked up from the stream. Come, I'll show you. There are many more." They went and picked some samples and sent them for analysis. Sure enough, the stones were diamonds. They found that the farm was indeed covered with acres and acres of diamonds. What is the moral of this story? There are 5 morals. One is, when our attitude is right, we realize that we are all walking on acres and acres of diamonds. Opportunity is always under our feet. We don't have to go anywhere. All we need to do is recognize it. The greatest on the other side always looks greener. While we are eyeing the grass on the other side, there are others. There are others who are eyeing the grass on our side. They would be happy to trade places with us. When people don't know how to recognize opportunity, they complain of noise when it knocks. The same opportunity never knocks twice. The next one may be better or worse, but it is never the same one. Through a story, we can understand the power, soul power. From the Bible, it is quoted. The Bible is the evidence and witness of this confidence, self-confidence, soul power. David and Goliath. We all know the story of David and Goliath. There was a giant who was bullying and harassing the children in the village. One day, a 17-year-old shepherd boy came to visit his brothers and asked, "Why don't you stand up and fight the giant?" The brothers were terrified and they replied, "Don't you see, he is too big to hit?" But David said, "No, he is not too big to hit. He is too big to miss. The rest is history. We all know what happened. David killed the giant with a sling. Same giant, different perception." Our attitude determines how we look at a setback. To a positive thinker, it can be a stepping stone to success. To a negative thinker, it can be a stumble block. Great organizations are not measured by wages and working conditions. They are measured by feelings, attitudes, and relationships. When employees say, "I can't do it," there are 2 possible meanings. Are they saying they don't know how to, or they don't want to? If they don't know how to, that is training issue. If they are saying they don't want to, it may be an attitude issue. They don't care, or a values issue. They believe they should not do it. A holistic approach is greatly needed for the winning. I believe in the holistic approach. We are not an arm and a leg, but a complete human being. Sometimes some person complain that we don't want to be like our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi, then I suggest them, if they don't want to be that personality, that multi-dimensional personality, just they can become his eye, his ear, his leg, his arm, any part of his body you can become. But the greatest and most important is to become his thought, to become his thinking, whose power has brought the oceanic change in the world. The whole person goes to work and the whole person comes home. We take family problems to work and work problems to the family. What happens when we take family problems to work? Our stress level goes up and productivity comes down. Similarly, the presence of mind is greatly needed. We can select the role model and ideal personality who keep his mind always in present. 100% he keeps his mind in present. He is only and exclusive personality of the world is Mr. Narendra Modi, who is the staunch believer, ardent believer of Swami Vivekananda's thoughts. It is greatly needed for every loser. Similarly, work and social problems have an impact on every aspect of our lives. Take any one of those items and extrapolate it into sophisticated adult terms and apply it to your family life or your work or your government or your word, and it holds true and clear and firm. What factors that determine our attitude? Are we born with attitudes or do we develop them as we mature? We are the factors that form our attitudes. If you have negative outlook on life because of your environment, can you change your attitude? Most of our attitude is shaped during our formative years. There are primarily three factors that determine our attitude. They are environment. One is environment. Second is experience.